Hey everyone, Matt here, Home Farm Ideas, and today I'm doing something a little different. I'm cooking. And I'm cooking with onions that I actually got from my aquaponics system as well. This machine here is called a Nova, and it is a Sous Vide cooking machine. And basically what it does is it heats up the water to a perfect cooking temperature. So let's say you wanted to have a medium well or well done steak or you know, rare or whatever, you could set it to the perfect temperature. You can't overcook things. When you set that temperature, it'll stay at that temperature. If you come back a few hours over the time that you set on here, your meat will still be fine. The only thing is that the meat follicles will definitely start to really fall apart when you leave it in there too long. So right now I have a London broil in there, and this is a pretty cheap cut of meat. And as you can see, all the onions are in there as well. I have a Pyrex dish in there that's holding it down because I couldn't get the air out very good. So this is going to be a cheap cut of meat. It's going to be pretty much a chewier piece of meat. The only thing is that when you cook it this way, it's supposed to really tenderize the meat. So, with that said, once it's done, we have it in here for 4 hours. Probably should be cooking it a lot longer, probably like 12 hours. But once it's done, I'm gonna grill it really quick just to get some caramelization on the food or on the steak. And then I'm gonna cook up the, you know, like the peppers and onions and everything separately and then mix them all at once. This is gonna be pepper steak. So, let's see how this goes. Sous vide pepper steak. I'm not gonna cook the peppers and the onions in here. I'm only gonna be cooking the steak and those onions. But I'm gonna be cutting up other onions and putting everything together, and we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna tell you the truth too. Like I said, I should be cooking the meat longer because it's a tougher cut of meat, but we'll see how it goes. So if you guys wanna get one of these, I'm gonna put it in the description below, and you can go ahead and buy it from Amazon if you're an Amazon person. We do get a little bit of money from any kind of kickbacks, like if you guys buy one of these, my wife and I and my family, basically, we get a little bit of cash from it. So, anyways, yeah, let's see how this goes. Almost done. So, I'm gonna start cooking the peppers and onions. And normally, with pepper steak, I'll put the steak in with the peppers and the onions. But I'm just gonna cook the peppers and the onions until they're soft enough. And then I will take the meat out, toss it on the grill to get some caramelization. And then after that, I will cut it up in strips and hopefully mix it in with this and spoon it over rice. Yeah. Putting in some oil here. Not too much. Extra virgin olive oil. And, you know, you want to kind of wait for it to start smoking. Usually before you put your meat in there and before you put veggies in there. So as you can see, it's already smoking because I already preheated the pan before I put the oil in there. And I'm gonna dump these in there. Look at that. All right, and basically we're just trying to get this to break down. We're gonna cook it all together. Let me coat the peppers and the onions real quick. Probably should have got more peppers. I don't know who bought the peppers. Maybe it was my wife. And then I'm going to use some sea salt. And the reason why you want to use salt right now, not only for flavor, but it's also, you want to draw out the water, you know, in the vegetables.
You want to draw out the water from the vegetables?
Hit that like button. You know what? I'm going to wait on the garlic powder. Usually garlic powders and garlic in general, you want to kind of wait, like if you're going to add like dry garlic powder, you want to kind of wait. We're just basically at this point just trying to draw out a lot of that water into the pan. This is the most boring part right here, but once I get like a nice little, like this, like a nice little sear on these, I'm going to put a lid on it. Don't you even say it, Rochelle. Put a lid on it. All right, and so the water's starting to come out now. And so I don't want too much of that coming out, but so I'm going to put the lid on it, but I'm going to put the garlic in now because I'm going to put a lid on it after I add this stuff. I'm like saying put a lid on it like a bunch of times. And then it's pepper steak, so yeah, pepper. Alright, and now, bam. We're just going to wait for that to kind of simmer down. You want to turn the fire down as well to where it's super low, or lower, I should say. On low. Don't put it on medium because you'll burn everything in there. Just put it as low as you can get it and let it simmer like that for about, I don't know, I'd say probably about 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, so it's been just about 15 minutes. It'll probably go off while I'm doing this. But I wanted to check the peppers and the onions because I like them soft. Just about ready. Yeah, they're good. They're good. They're good. Alright. You know, if I had to do this differently next time, you guys, what I would probably do is I would probably have better lighting in here, number one. But the other thing is next time I would probably cook these up first and then take the juices from here and put them in the sous vide bag that we're cooking the steak in. That way the flavor of the peppers and the onions gets you know, infused in with the meat. I did add, like I said earlier, I added garlic from, onions from our aquaponics system. So the onion will be infused in there. So, but these are pretty much done. Now we just need to sear off the steak and cut it up and add it to the magic in that pot. Oh, and we're gonna get the rice done. You guys know how to cook rice, I hope. So we're pretty much done. The meat is done cooking. So now we want to go ahead and lift this lid. And this particular container, it's kind of hard to open. So I got it specifically for this video because I wanted it to be difficult. So we stopped it there. We can go ahead and unplug it now. Okay. And, you know, I don't want to get water all over the place. It's probably going to be inevitable, though. So, and then I'm going to have my sweetheart just come and get it on this side. We're going to pull it straight out of here. Gonna have to cut this container better. I had to cut it myself. So, you know, DIY, right? And then, oh yeah, the water is like perfect for washing dishes. So, you know how we don't waste around here, so Rain's gonna come in here, my daughter, and do the dishes with this water. I'm kidding. Alright, so it doesn't look like much now, but when I put a sear on it, I think it'll look awesome. So let's go out towards the barbecue. Alright, so there we go. We got it out here. It does feel really tender. But we'll see. I mean, once I hook this up, once I start cooking it and stuff, if it's not tender, I'm gonna punch someone right in the face. So let's get it out of the bag, because you do need to pat this thing dry, especially if you're trying to grill it. I'm going to put the onions on this plate. Wow, there is a... Wow, that's a cheap cut of meat, too. And that's pretty dang tender. Let me put this aside because I don't want... I'm going to be using all those onions and that juice. I'm going to be putting it in with the peppers and everything else that was over there. So let me scrape these off just on the plate here. I know it doesn't look like much right now, okay? But when I put this thing on the grill, and I'm not going to put it on there long, because remember, we're not trying to cook it any longer. It's done. We're basically, and this is, I think this is a rare. We cooked it to rare, but it's fully cooked. So now we just need to sear it off. Okay, so got all the onions off.
I can smell that onion all in this back door.
I know. Doesn't it smell good? It smells all sweet. Okay, so now, can you hold this guy? We want to just pat this thing dry. Okay.
my gosh, I can smell
You
that.
look at how tender
My
it
nose
looks.
is clogged from my allergies.
See, this clears allergy clogs. All right, so you've been working all day, Rock. All right. Definitely smells good, and it's definitely tender. I mean, I could just feel it. Let me flip it over. Let me see that.
The juice in that bag smells amazing.
I know. We're gonna put that in with the peppers and the onions too. Wow, this is a really cheap cut of meat too. What was it again?
This is beef round.
Bottom round.
Beef round. It just
Basically,
said beef round London broil.
yeah, basically London broil. It's not the best cut of meat, but you know, we're a family here. You know, every time we go out to eat, it's like a financial decision with the kids. You know, you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, hit that like button. All right, so now we're gonna toss this thing on the grill and sear it off. All right, so this being a cheaper cut of meat, there's not a lot of fat on it. There's only a lot of fat just right here, okay? But for the most part, there's not a lot of fat. So, of course, I'm gonna drizzle it with some olive oil and I'm gonna brush it on there. This fat is a lot better for you than regular fat you would have, you know, like the beef fat. So we wanna get this on there, and the reason why is because this is gonna really help us to sear this. So, and then I am gonna add a little more seasoning to it. All right, there we go. That should be good for both sides, I think. And then a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. And where do those tongs go? Here they are. All right, so since we have enough olive oil on there already, I'm just gonna flip it over to get a lot of that olive oil onto the plate. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip it back and forth a few times. Just trying to coat that meat with that olive oil. Okay. All right, now I think it's ready to go on the grill. Let's grab this. Wow, it looks tender, huh, babe? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. See, you can still see the pink in there, which is good. We're gonna give it probably about, I'd say 2 minutes. So we're just trying to get a really good sear on this. Let me adjust the camera a little here. And that's how you do it when you're unprofessional. Just like me. That looked delicious though. Well, I mean, let's see when the sear comes in. There we go. Now that side looked delicious, didn't it? Should I try to do some fancy stuff on it? Okay. Let me try to do some fancy stuff here. I think it's like a little turn you got to do to it. And try to keep it in the shot. That's how I don't roll. You got a timer on it? So yeah, I mean, this sous vide machine, you know, I got it because, you know, we're trying to eat with less fat, basically. Less, you know, fat, you know, like from the beef and stuff like that. And you know what? We want tender cuts, and so if you're going to have tender, you can't really have tender unless you got a lot of fat in there. And so, and then we, you know, we don't like overcooking our meats and stuff like that. So this cooks fish and all kinds of different stuff perfectly. Let's check it. Oh yeah. That looked pretty good. Might want to go a little longer, huh?
You want to put it another minute?
Yeah, 1 more minute. So if you guys are interested in this thing, like I said in the beginning of the video, go into the description below, and we have it on our Amazon, you know, like our Amazon affiliate link. Obviously, we get something out of it if you guys buy one, but you know, try it out. I mean, this is the first time we're trying it, and already I'm pretty much loving this thing so far. So, but I want to taste it. I want to see how the meat is. So it's starting to firm up just a little, maybe. Well,
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Yeah, so that's good. 2 minutes per side. So I'm gonna flip it, and then I'll turn the video off, and I'll wait to show you guys the next part. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it now.
Ah! Perfect!
Wow, that looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to this, you guys, when we're basically done, and we're gonna cut it up. I'm gonna cut a slice into it just to see what it looks like in the middle. All right, I think we're pretty much done here on the barbecue, so I'm gonna take this off and see what we got. Bam. It does look good, doesn't it? So, you know, I would want to, I'm just worried I'm gonna overcook it, you know, but I would wanna basically sear it off a little bit better than that. First time, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna let the steak rest for probably about 3-4 minutes, and then I'll cut into it and see if we have a nice medium rare. So let's go ahead and wait that time. Oh yeah. This is the make you hungry shot. That looks good right there. I wish the whole thing looked like that. One thing that I did want to mention, and I don't know where it starts yet, but when you're cutting steak, you always want to cut it against the grain, because it'll just make it a lot less chewy. When you actually go with the grain, then you're basically making it stringy, okay? So when you go against the grain, you're kind of cutting it through that, so it'll make it a lot more tender. So I'm assuming the grains are going this way, so I'm gonna cut across it here. So I think there might be, well, you know what, let's just cut it. I don't know, this is the first time for me. Okay, that is tender. Because that I thought was going to be a problem cutting through right there, because there's a lot of tendon and stuff right there. Or gristle, I should say. What is that? That's more of a medium, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Medium to medium well. We just gotta, you know, adjust the cook time on it, but that's actually really good.
Take a bite.
You know, hold on. Let me cut this piece off, because this fat right here is still connective-y. All right, there we go. Hold on, I want to cut a couple more. All right, there we go. As you can see, it's still oh yeah, that's juicy. So, you know what we could have done? We could have just set it in there and just did it a little longer. So, yeah, it's really good. So, let's see. It's hard to cut it right here, though. I will say that, but I think it's kind of leathery there still, okay? So the real test would be to pick it up, right? And just kind of look at it. Very juicy. Let's see if it'll pull apart here. Pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
The onions fused in it.
Mmm. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, you know what? For the cut of meat it is, That's good, especially for a first timer. So, so yeah, I think it's really tasty. So, and it is tender. I would have cooked it longer at a lower temperature, though. That's good. Okay, so now we just need to mix it with the peppers and stuff and finish it off in a nice little bowl of rice. All right, let's pop that steak right back in there. Just to kind of stir it around to soak up some of that flavor from the peppers and the onions. Like I said, I want to figure out how to infuse this a little bit better. So if you guys have any, suggestions on how I can do this to where I can really infuse that pepper and onion flavor in there, please post that in the comment section below. So this will be one of my first cooking videos, although I've cooked with the son, which I will put in the card section so you guys can see it. But yeah, basically that is our pepper steak a new way. And that's the first time we've ever had it rare, a little bit rare, or medium at least. You know what I'm noticing? It's turning pinker. And I think there was these other videos I seen where they talked about that once this gets introduced to oxygen, it starts to get pinker. So, I don't know. I mean, check on it, you guys, and let me know if you read the same thing or whatever. So, but anyway, that looks delicious. So, I'm gonna taste it. It needs a little more garlic salt. Oh, that tastes good though. Okay. And it needs more salt. And actually, that was not garlic salt, that was garlic powder. Alright, that should be good. No, none of that. No, that's good. A good chef always tastes his food. And a bad chef does too. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's good. Alright, so I'm going to put this in a bowl with some rice. Scoop of rice. Organic. No, I'm just kidding. This ain't organic rice. So, a little bit more from me because I like rice. That's why I'm a big old fatty. Okay, so we got our rice, and then we got our pepper steak. That does look really good. Alright, a little more steak for me. Alright. How does that look, you guys? Doesn't that look delicious? So, I'm gonna try a bite just real quick. Gotta get some of the pepper in there, a little piece of steak and some onion, and gotta get some rice in there, right?
Oh, and it looks very hot.
Yeah, it does look hot. So, doesn't that look delicious? So we'll see. I mean, I make really good pepper steak, but I've never made it this way. So, let's go ahead and try it. That's me blowing on it. I'm not like one of those people on TV where they'll just take the food in their mouth and burn the heck out of their mouth and be like, "Oh, this is good." All right. Hopefully, hopefully that doesn't happen right now. Oh yeah, that is good. Yeah, that's really good. Meat's definitely tender. Way more tender than when I make it. So, anyways, if you guys like this new style video, please give me a thumbs up. If this is the first time you're watching my videos, I do all kinds of different videos on this channel, but it's mainly gardening, and I grew the onions. I did not grow the peppers, although I have peppers on the way right now. And I have other videos showing how I grow the peppers and everything. So, with that said, like I said, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and then subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe and ring that little bell icon. And if you are a subscriber and you never ring the bell icon, go for it, because you will get all my video updates. I have another Sous Vide video coming up that we're working on right now. So, and it has to do with carrots. I'll tell you that, okay? So, anyway, God bless you guys, and like always, peace.